In any type of work, there is always some level of risk, especially when it comes to construction sites where heavy machinery or demolition is involved. It's no surprise that these workers are often regarded as those who put their lives on the line to get the job done. The intensity of such work environments means that nerve-wracking incidents, some of which come dangerously close to costing lives, are not uncommon on these sites. Take, for instance, this particular large construction site. Initially, everything appeared to be going smoothly. There was a massive building framework and several cranes stood tall around the area. But then, out of nowhere, something unexpected occurred. One of the cranes suddenly lost its balance and came crashing down, completely destroyed in the process. The scene was horrifying to witness. Just imagine if there had been a crowd of people beneath it. Innocent lives could have been severely injured, or even worse, lost altogether. When it comes to tasks involving advanced machinery and heavy equipment, any miscalculation can lead to devastating consequences. This was exactly what happened here. A large vehicle was attempting to attach a framework to a nearby support beam. For reasons unclear, perhaps due to an oversight or simply because the load was too heavy, the framework couldn't be properly secured. It collapsed violently, pulling down the machinery trying to install it as well. Heavy machinery is a common sight at construction sites, and here, these machines were positioned under an unfinished building. Unfortunately, whether due to the building's framework not being stable enough or because of some error in its construction phase, the framework collapsed entirely. Thankfully, despite the severity of the situation, no lives were lost during this tragic event. Without strong teamwork among workers, dangerous situations can easily arise on a construction site. Even the smallest mistake can have life or death consequences. Take a look at this instance. Due to a miscommunication between two workers, one was attempting to secure a heavy, sharp piece of material onto the end of a hoist. However, before the material was properly attached, the worker shifted his position. Because the surface was slick, he nearly slipped and fell. Fortunately, he managed to regain his balance and avoided being crushed by the material, narrowly escaping a serious accident. In the middle of a bustling city, the demolition of a tall building often encounters challenges, as any mishap could result in costly damages or even endanger Levy. However, this particular demolition went off without a hitch. The entire process unfolded just as planned, and the large building came crashing down in mere seconds. It was truly remarkable to witness.
Unbelievable. Wow,
a similar demolition took place nearby. In this case, there were multiple tall buildings slated for destruction. At first, smoke could be seen billowing from the base of the structures, and soon after, they began to collapse one by one in a controlled sequence. The importance of patience and precision during demolition was demonstrated by one particular excavator operator. He took his time, ensuring that every action was deliberate and safe, avoiding any reckless decisions. His careful approach paid off in the end, as the building came down exactly as intended, and most importantly, no one was injured. Using a wrecking ball for demolition carries significant risks, but the results can be worth it. This method allows for quick and efficient destruction of buildings, just like in this case where a wrecking ball was employed to break apart a massive building constructed from strong materials. The workers skillfully used the wrecking ball to tear down the structure piece by piece, proving that this technique can be incredibly effective when executed correctly. The moments of tension during a demolition can be intense, and this particular building takedown certainly didn't go as planned. At first, everything seemed like it would unfold smoothly. There was no reason to doubt that the building would fall in the right direction, but just as the structure was about to collapse, panic set in. The building was supposed to fall forward into a cleared area, avoiding harm to anyone nearby. Instead, it toppled backward, nearly crushing workers and completely destroying a nearby house. It was a truly terrifying scene. One of the most frightening things about driving on a road near an active construction site is the potential for heavy machinery to malfunction without warning. That's exactly what happened here. Vehicles traveling along the highway were caught in the aftermath of a construction crane collapsing from the side of the road. Not only did the crane fall, but an unfinished building framework also came crashing down, landing on several cars passing by. Chaos erupted as people frantically reacted, and one unfortunate passenger was trapped in the wreckage. It was a horrifying incident. Transporting construction materials such as stones is typically handled by trucks. However, when these trucks aren't properly controlled, disasters can happen. In this case, it seems the driver lost control of the vehicle, leading to the materials, heavy stones, spilling everywhere. The weight was so substantial that it caused the entire truck to tip over and fall. This was a near catastrophe. A piece of heavy machinery was trying to carry a building framework, but the weight was too much for the machine to handle. As a result, it began to tip, almost falling over. Thankfully, disaster was narrowly avoided, and the machine remained upright, sparing everyone from what could have been a devastating accident. One of the most unavoidable issues at a construction site is the unpredictable failure of machinery. This was the case with one excavator that suddenly experienced an engine fire. Another excavator nearby quickly moved in to assist, attempting to put out the flames before the fire could spread and cause more damage. This time, however, it wasn't a malfunctioning machine, but rather a worker who had a serious accident. While working at a height on a construction site, the worker fell. His colleagues immediately rushed to his side. Thankfully, due to the safety gear he was wearing, he didn't suffer any severe injuries, though it was still a close call. Another scene involved a truck tasked with hauling an exceptionally large load. However, due to some sort of mistake, the workers had to step in and try to manually lift the heavy load onto the truck. Despite many hands pitching in to help, they simply couldn't get the load up. The sheer weight was too much for them to manage. Yet again, workplace accidents on construction sites seem almost inevitable. In one instance, a worker lost focus and fell. Fortunately, he was wearing protective clothing, which prevented what could have been a far worse outcome. Without those safety measures, the situation could have turned dire. On a busy highway, a truck suddenly broke down right in the middle of the road due to a problem with its rear axle. Whether it was overloaded or the breakdown was unexpected, the incident posed a real danger. If not resolved quickly, the truck's presence in the middle of traffic could cause significant problems for other drivers. Back at the construction site, a massive piece of heavy machinery was trying to carry an incredibly heavy load. Yet again, the weight seemed to exceed the machine's capacity, leading to chaos as it struggled to maintain control. In another incident, a hydraulic excavator was demolishing a building when something went terribly wrong. The front of the machine appeared to explode, and it suddenly came to a halt, unable to continue working. The unexpected failure left the job unfinished and posed a serious safety risk. Finally, yet another case of overloading led to disaster. This time, an overloaded truck was crossing a bridge when the excessive weight caused the bridge to collapse. The structure couldn't support the truck's load, leading to a catastrophic failure that sent the truck crashing down with it.